Welcome back to the Ben Mulroney Show. Thank you so much for spending time with us. We've been talking about the Minnesota shooting and the sort of one of the things that we gleaned during our conversation in the previous segment is that words matter, context matters, and taking one's time to understand a situation is important. So that flows very nicely into this next conversation. If without any additional knowledge, a lot of people a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago, started seeing a video popping up on their social media feed. And the video was of a group of young people. They look to all be of Southeast Asian extraction. And it's clearly a hip hop video where you've got one gentleman rapping in English. You got another gentleman with a turban rapping in Punjabi. And he's wearing a Home is Canada jacket. And then at one point in the video, the gentleman who raps in Punjabi starts beating up some white people. So that's the video, right? And then you get the reactions to the video are things like, you should see all the videos of Canadian rappers who mass immigrated to India when they're beating up Indians. Let me go back and get it for you. Be right back. And another one says, Indian music video promoting violently assaulting whites while wearing a patch that says Canada is home for them. This is a prime example of why we need to send them all back to their actual home country. Remigration now. And it goes on and it goes on. And if that's all you know with no context, then it's then these reactions are what they are. But if I tell you that the video is 7 years old, if I tell you and remind you 7 years ago we're living in a different Canada, if I tell you that what the guy is the Punjabi rapper passed away just a few years ago, 3 years ago. And if I tell you that what the guy's actually rapping about, well, I don't ask Joy, what's the guy rapping about?
So it's a Punjabi rap. And at the end, so the context, it's a music video, right? It has a story to it.
Yeah.
So the story is basically he's driving his car and he sees three people teasing a girl, Eve teasing a girl. So he stops his car, he gets out and then saves the girl and then beats up the guy. So just to put out the context, if it was any guy, be it his own community, he would have done the same thing.
Yes. And thank you for that. Because look, honestly, I didn't know it was 7 years old. And my reaction as somebody who's witnessed what I think is a failure in our immigration system, my first reaction wasn't a good one. And we were so happy to be able to pivot. Thank you, Joy, for giving us the context, giving us the information. We decided we were going to turn this into, this is a public service announcement. Right? And so on that note, we want to have a larger conversation with our next guest. And I do appreciate that she put up with my very long preamble. Please welcome Cheryl Thompson, Canada Research Chair in Black Expressive Culture and Creativity. Thank you so much for being here. We understand it's a little loud on your side, but we're going to make it work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. So sorry about that.
No, not at all. Not at all. So I hope what I said off the top made sense. But I think it's important to look at it from both sides in that if people saw this, the people who commented this way saw this video 7 years ago, I think they just would have probably moved on with their life. But given the fact that we are not living in the world of 7 years ago, this is kind of par for the course in the Canada we live in today.
Yeah, and it's also really bizarre when people start talking about immigration as if South Asian people just came here.
Yeah.
It's like it's really bizarre. People of South Asian descent have probably been in Canada since the turn of the 20th century and en masse since the 1970s.
Yeah.
Like I went to school with people from India, Pakistan, and all these.
100%. The scale at which they've come in over the past few years has been it's literally off the charts. I mean, and there are
time it's reasonable to say that a lot of these people so-called coming in are temporary foreign workers, are students, are people who are reuniting with family, so that the conversation should be more nuanced on what is the immigration, not just the idea of the immigrant.
100%. I think these comments are devoid of nuance and devoid of curiosity to hear about this. What they actually saw in the video is the exact opposite of what the video is saying. What they think they saw is not what they saw. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. When I watched the video, I was like, okay, am I interpreting this wrong? It seems like that girl was being harassed or there was something happening and they were trying to, be macho and manly, and as a lot of hip hop culture is. and protect her, because she doesn't to me, the focus should be on the woman. She doesn't react.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't say, "Oh my gosh, what's happening?"
Yeah.
She's just standing there like, "Oh, okay, this happened and thank you," kind of thing. So I just wondered why that video? Like, why is it being plucked so randomly? And brought?
And that's that's the question, right? And again, I'll go back to, like, look, I've said many times on this show, and I think a lot of sober-minded people feel the same way, that one of the few things in this country that everybody could agree on for years and decades and generations, whether you're conservative or NDP or liberal, that this country was built by through a system of responsible immigration, that we brought people who want to buy into this country, and we brought in the best. And there, over the past 10 years, that immigration system has broken, and has been broken, rather. It wasn't broken by accident. It was broken by people. And because of that, so we always talk about the negative impacts of it on X, Y, and Z. But I've never looked at it from, well, what is that doing to people's perception of each other, right? And I think this is an example of a negative of one of the negative impacts of that broken system, because we're looking at each other with apprehension now. We are looking at each other as other. We're looking at each other as the enemy, as opposed to, you came here because you, just like me, believe that this country could be better with you here, so let's build it together. That's not what people are seeing in these things anymore.
No, and I think they're also attaching like a geographic space to it. Like they're taking over this part of the city kind of thing. Like there's a frenzy. Like you need to now be worried about Malton, because they shout out Malton too.
Yeah.
Love the video, and it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Like Malton is fine.
Yeah.
But what I know to be true of history is that anytime there's mass changes, people start going back to some fictive past that they want to return to.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's not a real past. It's a fictitious past that never really actually existed. But but there's also everything old is new again, and the weaponization of hip hop culture. I mean, it's always this is a video of a guy acting heroically. And yet they're beating the drum of sort of, I don't know if it's like I don't know what you'd call it. Is it the irresponsibility of, or the inherent violence of hip hop culture? I don't know. What I also saw was, the guy who's acting heroically. I know what it looks like not to be able to actually throw a punch. This guy did not know how to throw a punch. And so there's no way he is a violent person. I know that he was trying to project. He doesn't know how to throw a punch, just like I don't know how to throw a punch. But it's, yet again, hip hop is being weaponized.
No, but I to be fair, if you go back to the 2010s, especially in the Toronto hip hop scene, there were a lot of these videos of like people just taking up space. Just like in that video, like a lot of people just out.
Yeah.
And I remember there were a lot of videos too of like from the prisons, right? They were doing videos in prisons and like there was just a lot of that like really bad man kind of image that is just an image. Like, I wish people would understand that hip hop is an art.
Yeah.
It is not reality. Yeah. That is just an image that they're projecting. Whether we could debate the image, right? You could say, I don't like that. I wish it wasn't like that, but it's not real.
Yeah.
It just isn't. And I think that's the problem that we're having. The era that we're in, real and fake, it's just really getting hard to discern.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm glad we're going to end on this. I don't have a lot of time left, but the fact that we are talking today about a 7-year-old video where most of the people taking issue with it don't understand the lion's share of the words in it, therefore they don't understand the context, and they are jumping to these sad conclusions. It's a condemnation of who we are and where we are as a society. But I want to thank you for being here to help add a little bit of clarity and a little bit of responsibility to this conversation. And I hope I hope that you find a little bit of peace in that office of yours in the next little while.
Yeah, don't get me started. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching the show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of The Ben Mulroney Show.